Hey YouTube, it's JP Dillon. Here's one you won't see every day. This is our early 1980s Samsung. Yes, Samsung, like the Samsung we know of. Model SS-3500 stereo receiver. Now, I've never seen one of these. Uh, this was a gift from a friend who's just like, hey, see what you can do with it. So we can see it's got a lot of gunk and a lot of knobs missing, which is unfortunate, but we're going to see if we can get this thing working pretty decent and then maybe find a better knob set, because these toggles kind of look like Pioneer stuff. So maybe find a Pioneer knob set or something like that that'll work better with it. It's definitely seen better days. And I don't know what happened up here with this faceplate thing, but wow. But hey, I like gifts. Let's see if we can make this thing work. So here's a look inside this beast. And right away, I'm impressed. You've got a decent sized transformer. What do we got here? 6,800 microfarad. Not bad. Could be 10,000. Regulated power supply there. A real tuner. Look at that. 4-gang FM tuner with low pass filters at the multiplex output. That's pretty decent. Although this I wonder about. What is that? LM391 driver chips. Look at that there. That looks like a factory mod of some kind. That's on both channels. And then you've got some TO3 outputs. Hitachi's. 2SB 653 it looks like. 2SD 573? 2SC 573? Huh, it's fully complementary. Pretty cool. Yeah, just looking around this thing, this is not a cheapie. Let's take the bottom cover off and hope that the electrolytics haven't peed. Alright, here's the bottom side. We got a fairly complex phono preamp here. Wow. So we got like what? 10 transistors for a basic RIAA preamp. Pretty decent build there. We've got our DC detection circuit down here. Decent sized bus bar has been properly soldered. No bulging or peeing capacitors, that's good. Input selector switch is not a style that I'm fond of, but the soldering on it looks good at least. And then you got this other rotary switch here, which is just for record out and tape, I believe. Yeah, that's your tape monitor slash, record out selection. Hard to see back in there, but full size pots, not the little 10mm jobbers. So far, I'm pretty impressed with the build quality on this thing. This isn't a slouch. That heatsink's easily big enough for 50 watts a channel. Alright, let's put it on the dim bulb checker and fire it up. Alright, let's see what she does here. It's a good sign. No clicky. Oh, there we go. Just took it a bit. Alright. Signal meter apparently works, as we're on AM. Detector alignment's off a bit on the FM. But it does pick up my test signal, and it does get it in stereo. Cool. Okay. Let's check the DC offset, and then we'll hook a load up. Now I know what you're thinking, that if it came out of protection, why does he need to check the offset? Because protection circuits don't always work. And what you find is does have an offset. Not the case with this one. This one's got a 6 millivolts there. .6 there. It's bobbling around a little bit, so there's probably some noise or something we need to look at. But yeah, it's running. Let's hook a load up. All right, load attached. We're in auxiliary. Let's see what she does. A lot of noise. See that? Lots of noise there. I wonder how much of that's due to noisy controls, though. It's just messing with the controls. It kind of calms down a little bit. Sure, there's lots of bad capacitors in there. Oh yeah. Starting to calm down. All right. Let me get some contact cleaner in these pots, and then we'll try again. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing from this vantage, but get some CRC in there and see if it cleans it out a little bit. That's the fake clicker volume control. Yeah, let's do our tone controls. Well, that's our balance. Really sticky on one side. Turbo control. Bass control. Yeah, just for grins and giggles, let's clean the input selector switch up here. And then our tape monitor switch. Now I know what you all are thinking. That's an awful lot of cleaner. Well, yes, it is. I want to saturate it, but it also doesn't leave any residue in this quick drying, so I need to be prompt about how quickly I clean these. And we got the toggle switches here, which I'll do 2 at a time. So we can't really make judgments on it until it's able to pass a clean signal, if it is. And what you notice is if you got a dirty volume or balance control, the loading on the front end of the preamp changes, and you'll get all sorts of noise and static and stuff that may think you believe it's a bad transistor or something when it's not. So always clean the pots and switches before you do any other troubleshooting, because a lot of that stuff will throw you, speaking from experience. Alright, let's see if I can get a knob off of this and onto the speaker selector. Clean that guy. Once these guys are all cleaned up, we'll try it again. let's try to index it right at least. All these knobs are coming apart from sitting, and all the adhesive is broken loose. Alright. So in theory, the pots and switches are a little bit cleaner. Comes out of protector a little faster, that's good. Let's put a bigger signal in. Alright, we got something there. Let's make sure the scope agrees here. There we go. Move this out of the way. So that's pretty clean looking, right? Volume control appears to work. Filter switches, loudness work. Cool. So this thing works. Pretty nifty. Let's see if we can improve the, well, before I go too far here, let's make sure the phono preamp works. Let's go to phono 1. And let's put the appropriately sized signal in. That looks good. Let's check our IAA compensation. We should have less at a higher frequency and more at a lower frequency, which we do. And if we sweep it, we can see it exponentially growing and shrinking based on the frequency. So the phono stage works. Okay. Let's see if we can improve the radio a little bit. Do a minor detector adjustment, RF adjustment, and then clean it up, and looks like we got ourselves a nice little garage stereo. If you're curious about the power output of this thing, we'll run it all the way up just before clipping here. And we've got 19.7 volts RMS. So this is basically a 50 watt per channel. I think it's really about 47 or 48 if you square the RMS voltage and then divide by load. So it's about 50 watts per channel. It's pretty good. All the lamps work too, that's another cool thing. Alright, so on FM with no signal attached, there's our detector transformer there. I'm gonna see if I can shore it up, center that meter using the primary here, get rid of that offset. That looks good. And now we'll put an antenna on it and use the sound tech to generate a signal and see how well we can make this thing tune. Alright, so with an antenna hooked up, oscillator's a little off. Maybe not. It's about 98.5, that's what I'm broadcasting at, and there we are over there. Center it up and turn down our signal a bunch so we get poor quality there, poor quality there, and we're using a 75 ohm antenna. Let's peak the RF. Looks like it already was there. Let's do the second one here. It's just a minor touch-up alignment, nothing big. Just peaking that signal meter. Okay, and we'll turn our signal way up, and we're going to check our multiplexer here. So if I select the right channel plays with minimal bleed. Same with the left. Now if we go to our multiplex IC, one of these is probably VCO and the other one's probably the separation. And Usually the ones closer to the filters are the separation, so we're going to rock this back and forth and see if we can make that additional bleed through go away. That's pretty flat lined. Just recheck it there. Oh yeah, man. So this thing's raring to go. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, and then we're gonna find some missing knobs, and then just kind of call it a day. All right, after a trip in the ultrasonic cleaner, let's see how these guys came out. Still a little gunky looking, but not terrible. All right, so there it is, all cleaned up best I can. The tuning knob didn't want to come off even after releasing the Allen keeper, so I just left it on there and cleaned the faceplate. I found a couple of knobs. Basically, I tried to keep the tone controls original, and I was missing a speaker balance and a volume knob, so I just went through my stash and found stuff that was close. I mean, from a distance, you wouldn't really know. When you get up close, you can see it, but yeah, from a distance, it's pretty hard to tell. So this turned out okay. Cleaned up the top of the case and the faux wood, and actually it looks pretty nice. You get up close, you see all the flaws, but from a distance, it's a decent looking machine. And this will be a nice shop amp. I'll stick it out in the garage or something with some big obnoxious speakers and piss my neighbors off. But yeah, man. So Mr. Hockenberry, don't know if you still watch the channel or not, but thank you, sir. This is a nice gift, and it's going to get put to use. So hope you guys enjoyed the video here, and more stuff to come.